What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to bring you a video that kind of covers two areas, in that it is going to be a long-term 2-year review of a budget 32-inch 4K monitor. This is the LG 32 UK50T. This model doesn't exist anymore, but they basically have the same exact monitor. They just have a different model number with it. But that's the model number there, which is, oh, it wasn't upside down. So I kind of want to get an idea of who this may be for, who it may not be for. I've had it for around 2 years now, and I am getting ready to most likely upgrade to something different, and I'll kind of go through that a little bit also. So this is the monitor right here. I bought it at Costco, and I think I paid about $319 for it, $350 with tax and everything. Generally, it's the cheapest, one of the cheaper monitors you can get. $300 is about the cheapest you can get for an IPS. So it's an IPS 60 Hz refresh rate. Nothing fancy. It does cover the DCI-P at, it says normally 95%, which is not great, but not bad. So it does have a little bit of wiggle room if you want to do some video or photo editing. So I'll kind of go through some of the very bad things and the very good things about the monitor. I've had it for 2 years now, 0 issues. It has worked flawless since I've had it. I generally have never had an issue with a monitor before. I haven't noticed any dead pixels. It does have some backlight bleeding, but not anything that I would say bothers me at all. I'm in a basement right now, so it does not affect me at all. So 32-inch, 60 Hz refresh. It's not the brightest panel out there. I think it's like 300 nits. I have it around both the brightness and the contrast around, around 30, under 40%. So I do not need a really bright 500 nit monitor that's going to burn my eyes out. So that is something to keep in mind. No HDR, but I think HDR is kind of a gimmick to me. It's nice, but I never use it. I don't think I ever would use it. So a few things, you can definitely tell that this is an older design monitor because it does have fairly large bezels. A lot of the newer monitors now, especially when we start getting into the $400 to $1,000 range, they barely have any bezels, which just makes them look a little bit more immersive, a little bit more sleek. So this is a little bit on the bulky side. Good viewing angles though. You have very good. Just unplugged it. It doesn't go very far. It does have very good viewing angles, so you do have that. See if I can get the monitor turned back on. You do have that because it's a standard IPS. It is not a nano IPS with multi-zone dimming or anything like that. So let's talk about a few bad things to consider. The first thing is, you'll notice it's not on a stand. I have bought a monitor arm the second I bought this, because this is the stand, which has no height adjust and barely any adjustments at all. Basically, once you get your monitor on, that is going to be, it has a little bit of tilt, but that's it. No swivel, no pivot, no height adjust. You're basically stuck at whatever you do when you put it on there. So, and it wobbles a lot, so it's a very, when the monitor's on there, because it's a little heavy, it just wobbles all the time. So I got rid of this the second I bought it. Bought a $50 monitor arm and fixed that. So I would definitely, if you have an issue with your monitor wobbling, or you're kind of iffy about the stand, you can bypass that by getting a monitor arm, but you're also going to notice that you're going to pay a little bit more. So that's the first thing I noticed when I got this, is that how junky this is. The second thing, there's no USB-C. It has 2 HDMI ports, or no, yeah, 2 HDMI ports, a display port, and that's it. Nothing. No USB up, no USB down, no USB-C, no USB-C charging, none of that. It's a basic monitor, and the new ones are the same way. They don't have anything, any type of USB-C charging or anything like that, or power delivery where you can just use that one cable. So I did use this pretty often for video and photo editing, and it actually does pretty well, I think. It is not... If you're a pro and you're making money off of, doing wedding photography, or you're doing any type of video work, or any type of stuff where you're actually getting paid 100% for this ain't the monitor for you. You could spend $500–600 and get a good BenQ or Dell. There's some really good, more color accurate monitors out there. So if this isn't really a gaming monitor either, I would say it doesn't have the fastest response. I think it's like 8 milliseconds. think that's what it is. It's not a fast response monitor. So if you're just a general consumer, maybe dabbling into some video or photo editing, I think this would be a good monitor for you. The menu system is a little bit not the best option out there. You do have some menu options. It does have a gaming option on it, oddly, but I haven't found that it's done a whole lot with anything. So you do have this little wheel down here to control things, which is kind of gimmicky if you ask me. You do have picture-in-picture. I've never used it, don't really know how, but you do have that. And there's just some general things you can change and adjust through here. Once I got most things set, I didn't play around with it. It doesn't have different modes, so it doesn't have like Adobe RGB, sRGB, how a lot of the new monitors out have. So that's really it when it comes to the review of it up. For the money, it is excellent. I would just make sure you probably get a different stand, and or if you're okay with the wobbliness, or but I don't like that you can't height adjust it, so it was already sitting way too high, so I had to kind of like look up with the monitor just from where it sat at. Standard vase mount, so every monitor that I know has a vase mount besides some of the MacBooks, or not MacBooks, but like the Apple Studio Display. If you can get it with a vase mount if you order it, but if you order it with a regular stand, then you have to send it in for them to change it over. So you do have the standard vase mount, which is nice. But that's it. It's not for a gamer. It's not for anybody doing any pro photo or video editing. You're just doing side stuff like I am. It's an excellent monitor. They still carry it at Costco. It's a different model number. But it is still, I think, an excellent display for just about anybody out there. It's very large, and it's a little on the heavier side, but besides that, it's pretty good. It does have a white back on it, which gets very dirty, but I didn't bring that up as a negative because nobody usually sees the back of this monitor, so I wasn't too worried about it. Let's see how far I can go, but it does get pretty dirty. Lots of fingerprints, and there's a bunch of black stuff up here where there's some cooling fans that have just blown up a little bit of debris over time and stay in the back of the monitor, but you don't usually see that. So why am I who this monitor may not be for? So definitely if you're gaming, you can spend $600-700 and get a 4K high refresh monitor. That's probably where I'm going to go. Is even though I don't do any gaming, I've been really spoiled by 120 hertz adaptive with the iPhone 12 Pro has that, my MacBook Pro has that. So the higher refresh rate, it's a more fluid experience. So this is 60 hertz. It does look good. It's hooked up to my MacBook now through a USB-C display port, and it works great for that. But I really want something that's a little bit more higher, the DCI P3, something that's maybe at 97 to 98%. And the bezels, it's starting to show its age on me. I've already have it sold for not nearly what I paid for it, but I only paid a little over $300 for it, so I didn't take a big hit. So I'm just in the process right now of upgrading. So that's why I wanted to bring this unorganized review out for you. But that's really all I can think of. It's been a very good monitor for me, but when I went to Micro Center and looked around at a few other monitors, there's just technologies came so much farther, especially if you get into like a mini or a nano IPS display where it has multiple zone backlighting. There's like the QLED or whatever it is that they're coming out with the new 1440p monitors, which is a really neat technology. It's just showing its age, so it's time for me to upgrade. But if you're looking to get in a budget 4K monitor, I would recommend this panel, the exact one, except for, I'll put a link below if you want to try to purchase it. I think the newer one actually has a black back panel, so it may have fixed if you're worried about the stains and stuff on the back from the white. It just picks up a lot of smudges, and they're hard to get off, even if you use like some type of bleach cleaner or anything like that, which isn't the best for the environment. But been really happy with it. Sad to see it go, but it is time to upgrade to newer things. So if you have any comments, questions, leave them below. I will get back to you. This will be the last video on this monitor. I think I've done 2 or 3 now, so this will be the final one. And the next video I do down the line will probably be with the new monitor. I'm thinking about going with the LG. They have a new 27-inch 144 hertz refresh rate monitor. They have it in stock at Micro Center, so I've already looked at it. It looks stellar. I was shocked at how much better an $800 to $1,000 monitor looked versus a $300 monitor. This monitor is still great, but going from a MacBook that has a mini LED display, very color accurate, and going to this, it just looks, the colors don't look as contrasty. It just doesn't have that nice edge to it that you get with the newer MacBook Pro, the 14-inch and 16-inch screens. So thanks for watching. Have a good rest of the day, weekend, whatever's out there, and I'll see you guys next time.